All right, family. Let's get into it. Sorry about the earlier. So, decentralized predictive markets. Waiting for the stream to come through. We're almost there, family. Give it a second. All right, family. Let's get into it. Sorry about the earlier. All right. We live, baby. We live. Decentralized predictive markets. Let's get into it. What in the world is Crypto Roots talking about? This guy just seems stoned all the time. Why does anyone even listen to him? You know what I'm saying? So, pretty much think about Wikipedia meets the stock market. I'm going to say that again. When Wikipedia meets the stock market, okay? It democratizes speculation. So I know these seem like stretches. These seem like big stretches. But I'm going to break this all down for you, family. I got you. I got your back. Okay? So, decentralized predictive markets they are based on the concept of a binary event, an event that will or will not occur. In the world of finance, participants trade contracts whose profits vary depending on the outcome of future events. Prediction markets make the results of such events exchangeable. Okay? So think about future contracts. So you're kind of making a bet, sorta, or making a deal on something that it doesn't exist right now, but will exist in the future. The outcome of something in the future. So you're kind of potentially making profit from buying and selling future contracts. Okay? Basically, you place a bet on the probability of a specific event happening in a specific situation, such as elections, sales of companies, price fluctuations, or even changes in the climate. The value of a bet is in most cases directly proportional to the probability that a certain outcome will materialize. So you're going to get more side feeling one way than the other side based on the type of event that's about to happen. Okay? Now, the events usually have to do with something that is going to affect a lot of people. Okay? Something that that requires, I would say, a mass amount of people putting in their knowledge and expertise into it. So that's what decentralized predictive markets are. Placing bets on future events, such as elections, companies, price fluctuations, and the climate. Okay? How's this different from gambling? One second. Okay. Whether or not a profit is generated depends on the accuracy of the forecast with respect to the outcome of the given event. Therefore, participants will strive to make the most accurate forecast possible. If a large portion of participants, after making the appropriate market analysis, come to the same conclusion, the forecast will tend to be more one-sided than the other. Okay? So the way this is different is that people are actually using their best sense of knowledge collectively in order to possibly gain the best outcome. So it's not like you're guessing. It's like, no, everyone's using their most educated guess. And people are going to have different types of educated guesses depending on how much they know. But people are going to try to know as much as possible so that they can benefit from the outcome of an event. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully that makes sense. For example, if you place a bet on a coin toss, there will always be the same odds of a heads coming out across or not. Like I said, no external condition can influence this result. It is pure gambling. as luck plays a key role in the outcome of an event. So you can't change the fact that it's going to be a 50-50 toss no matter what you do, no matter how much you do your research or how much you have experience in knowing, or you know what I'm saying. It's always, every time, it's going to be a 50-50 chance of you winning heads or tails. Okay? Prediction markets instead rely on the collective wisdom of a large group of individuals regarding the possibility of a future event will materialize. So those are the two differences. One, you can't control. It's stuck in those parameters of heads or tails, 50-50. But a prediction market is us collectively using our best sense of consciousness and knowledge to accurately to best we can to accurately report the outcome of an event. Okay, so that's the difference. One we're collectively using our intuition. One, we have no say in the outcome. It is what it is. Hopefully that makes sense. All right. So how do I make that money when it comes to decentralized predictive markets? All right. So, for instance, if the predictive market question is, will Donald Trump be re-elected in 2020? Now, this has got me. This is something that gets me kind of worked up. You know what I'm saying? Because I honestly feel like he is. You know, so I would, for instance, like, you know, and some people feel like he's not. So, for instance, this is how it works. That's the question. Will Donald Trump be elected in 2020? Be re-elected in 2020? So, if the outcome of the event is yes, then you receive $1. Okay? If you win, if you say yes, then you receive one, and he does, then you receive $1. If you say no and he doesn't, you receive $1. Okay? Hopefully that makes sense. Okay. Now, if the outcome is no, you get nothing. So if it's the opposite, if you said yes and it's a no, you get nothing. If you said no, it's a yes, you get nothing. Okay. You buy contracts or votes depending on your confidence level. So that's how you buy in. Depending on how confident you are, that's how you buy in. Okay. So for instance, for Ethereum, if you're 70% confident, since we're using Ethereum instead of regular, if you're 70% confident on a yes, you're going to buy a contract or a vote for 0.70 cents, okay? Because you're 70% confident out of the whole 100%, okay? Same thing, if you feel 70% confident on a no, you're going to buy a contract for 70 cents on a no, okay? So it's how confident you are. Now, however the event turns out, the winner gets $1. But remember, you put up 70% because you felt that confident. So the only way you can profit, the amount of profit you have to make is only 30 cents for every contract that you purchased at 70 cents. Okay? Because you get the whole dollar. Because if you're buying a contract for 70 cents, you're buying it from the 30% person who says, no, this won't happen. You're saying 70% this will happen. The other person saying 30%, no, this won't happen. Hopefully that makes sense. Take the time, rewind the video. Okay? However the event turns out, the person gets $1. But you remember you put up 70 cents, so the most you can profit is 30 cents. So, but even if you turn in your favor, you put up 30 cents. Say you were only 30% confident about something happening, but it actually happened in your 30% range. It actually happened. You received the other 70%. You took more of a risk. You see how that works? You took more of a risk, right? You could have lost out on 30 cents, but you took more of a risk, but it ended up happening in your favor. So you get 70 cents for every vote that you bought at 30 cents. Hopefully this all makes sense, people. Hopefully this all makes sense. Okay? All right. Give me a second. All right. Why is it so revolutionary? Because it is assumed that a large group of people have much more information overall than a single individual. Participants in the prediction market bring their money into play and are therefore encouraged to study and analyze both the market and the topic in question in depth so that they can predict the outcome of the event with greater precision. The main advantage of blockchain system is decentralization. Now, there's already predictive markets, but they're centralized. And what happens when you have centralized predictive markets is that normally they're the only ones who can come up with the market, and they're also subject to censor certain outcomes. Or if someone says, hey, you can't vote on that, or you can't put that on your site, they have to take that market down. Also, they're liable to steal your funds. They're liable because you're putting your money on their platform. So, and that also they can manipulate certain results. So that's why that's been the biggest problem. And because you can't do all that, because you can't have so much transparency, because things are so centralized, you don't have a good way to collectively predict something as a collective, since there's so much centralization, interjection, and sensory that the outcome wouldn't be fair. You know what I'm saying? But in decentralized, you can't get any more of a raw output or a raw collective opinion about something, because anyone can create a market. It can't be changed and it can't be altered. Okay? Decentralization is the removal of central authorities, intermediaries responsible for administrating trade. It is therefore not necessary for users to pay high, by the way, very little high commissions when you're doing decentralized. Okay? No third parties involved. The blockchain allows investors to participate quickly and easily in a contract without having to rely on a professional broker to manage the trades. So we're relying on smart contracts instead of an actual human being who's a professional broker. Okay? So these are the differences between decentralized predictive markets and centralized predictive markets. All right? There's cheaper fees, there's no broker, and there's no centralization, there's no censorship. Okay? In addition, in a centralized platform, some important market information may be concealed by the central authority so as to gain an advantage over other participants. In a decentralized system, however, there is no central authority. All the market information is publicly available. So, this is the difference. That's why it's so revolutionary. We've never seen anything like this before. We've never seen anything like this before, and we're not ready for the beast that is about to emerge from these types of open public markets. All right? Like, it's crazy. Like, trust me, buckle your seatbelts, because it's about to get crazy. All right? Now, what are some of the markets you can create? Okay? Let's start talking about that. So, with decentralized predictive markets, now you don't even have to participate in the market. You can actually profit just by creating the market, and you get a fee from people buying, a small fee from people and buying, selling on your market. That's crazy. So you don't even have to participate in the market. You can profit just from creating markets. Now let's go over it. So you can create a decentralized predictive markets over the outcome of a sports game. Okay? Give me 1 second. You can create a decentralized predictive markets on the outcome of a political event. Okay? You can do it on weather conditions. For instance, like straight up, I'm gonna give you an example. Say you're a farmer in South America. All right? Say you're a farmer in South America and you rely on heavy rainfall throughout the year. And that rainfall is what makes your bread and butter. That's what gives you the bread and butter, right? But you can't always, you can't predict. No one really can predict how much rain you're gonna have that year. You know what I'm saying? So you're always kind of have that risk of not making anything this year or making a lot less, right? So you can create a market, a decentralized predictive market in that region, and you can say within this type of year, within this year, do you think it's going to rain at all, or how much over 12 inches or whatever, however much you need to grow your crops? You can create a market saying, do you think it will rain in this region, right? And people in that region can start buying and selling no's and yeses on that particular market that farmer created, okay? And not only can he possibly profit from people buying and selling on that market, but he could also participate in the market himself. So he created a market. Will it rain in this region that he lives in in this year, right? People say yes, people say no, people say yes. So what he's going to do to hedge on his position, he's going to buy in on a relatively small amount of no's. So he's going to buy in on a low percentage of no's, okay? So, know that it won't rain, right? Is going to buy in. Now, what happens is, even though he's relying on it to rain, that's where he gets his bread and butter. In case it doesn't rain, he still makes a profit. In fact, he would make more of it. He would make a decent profit because he bought in at a small percentage of no's. Now, if it rained, he would lose a little bit. But if it didn't rain, he would make enough to possibly make up for the rain not coming. So that's how you can almost hedge against any event, is that you can almost never take a loss. Essentially, if you set it up the right way, you can put like never taking a loss, or you know what I'm saying, or just reducing the probability of you taking a loss. Okay, hopefully that makes sense. Crypto, what's up? What's up in the chat? What's up in the chat? So you can also, if you have a large enough following, you could also do it for your own personal events. If you had enough people, like, you know, tens, hundreds of thousands of people, if not 1 million people, you could create your own market based on your personal events. Like, say you needed to go somewhere and you're not sure if you're going to make it, but if you were to make it, you'd make money. But if you missed the event, you would miss out on some money. You can create a decentralized predictive market with your own crowd, with your own following. And you could possibly profit whether the event goes your way or not with your own following. This is just some ideas. Crypto markets. So yeah, you can. Another common thing is create predictive markets based on the market cap and the analytics. Like, will Bitcoin be 20,000 by the beginning of 2020? You know, or will Ethereum hit $2,000 by the end of 2019? You see, like, you can create predictive markets on the market itself. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy. Possible ratings for a major film. So you can make a market on a film that's about to release, and whether it gets kicked out to video or whether it grosses however millions per week. Like, you can create these markets. These are just some ideas for you to get started. And last but not least, assassination markets. And as you know, as rough as it sounds, but this is probably the first thing to come up when you have decentralized predictive markets, is an assassination market. Will so and so be killed by so and so, and the people start placing bets on that. You know what I'm saying? And no one can stop you. It's anonymous, and that's what, because anyone can create a market about anything. That's what makes it decentralized. So it's just crazy how natural people are going to come up with the assassination markets, and things can get kind of hand around assassination markets. People start upping the ante. People start hiring hitmen and You know what I'm saying? People make sure that their bets go through. Assassination markets are they've been around for a while, but now when you put them on the blockchain, they can't be shut down and they can't be censored, and anyone can profit off them. You could profit off someone's death and not even participate it, and no one would even know. Like on some real shit. Like I said, the possibilities are endless. Endless possibilities. You can create markets on anything. You don't have to participate in the market to profit from it. I wrote that down. All right, so here's the crazy thing. We as a society can hold politicians accountable. We can hold them accountable by having them buy in on their own shares of their own promises. You get that? So before we even elect them, they would have to put a significant amount of money on their own profits. Like they would on their own promises. They would have to buy in yeses as far as something getting done during their election. And if that's something that they promised didn't get done, then they would lose their own personal stake of what they said they were going to do. So this revolution is political. Like I'm telling you, you have no idea where this is going, and this is just part one. But we can hold politicians accountable by having them buy in on their own promises. You know what I'm saying? So now, this is part one. I was going to get into, on part two, we're going to get into what type of platforms, how to use these platforms for decentralized predictive markets, how to use our MetaMask to connect, how to create a market, different types of tokens for these markets, and we're gonna. That's part two. I wanted to give you guys some crypto game, and I apologize for these live streams. A lot of it has to do with my internet connection. A lot of it has to do with some of the software, and I just want to make sure that I can always give this information as clearly as possible. So forgive me for the trouble. I appreciate your support. I got the crypto course out fully, and you know what I'm saying? I got the mentorship. Hit me up. I got plenty of game. I got nonstop game. Rewind the video. We're doing crypto class every month. I'm just coming up with new ways to educate. You know what I'm saying? And I always got to drop crypto game. So much love. Hopefully